Koku.
Their product may be promoted as fresh. We found it's anything but. In fact, it undergoes a process which allows juice to be kept for up to 2 years. And tonight, insiders lift the lid on what we're really drinking. James Thomas has the details.
This is chilled fresh juice.
With occasionally 12-month-old concentrate and aseptic juice in it.
That's right, but that's the terminology that's used. That's the terminology.
Oh, then that's fine then. Let's just all lie to the consumers because that's the law. We can just cruise on over and just label it fresh orange juice, but have aseptic juice and concentrate and imported ingredients, adding vitamin C, adding potassium, adding sugar. I mean, this is about as far removed from an orange as you can get.
Valued at more than $1 billion, Australia's juice industry is big business. Coca-Cola, Heinz, National Foods. The message on their juice is simple: fresh. Fresh as the orange it came from. Fresh because it's squeezed daily. A premium juice because, you guessed it, it's fresh. But the truth is not found on these labels or websites. The truth is inside this warehouse.
I've tried for years to get inside these places, and now we're here, we can unveil what's happening.
Juice companies have a secret. It's called aseptically processed juice. It's anything but fresh.
It can be up to 12 months old. I mean, I've heard they've kept it for up to 2 years. And these are all over the country at the moment.
Aseptic juice is freshly squeezed juice, which is heated anywhere up to 95 degrees to kill bacteria and cold stored for months, if not years.
Well, it's not publicised, but I mean, everybody in the factory knows that it goes on.
Aseptic processing doesn't just kill bacteria. It also damages an orange's essential ingredient, vitamin C. It reduces taste and changes colour.
And no offence to brothel owners, I think the brothels are run a lot more better than the citrus juicing industry.
Why do you say that?
Because at least they're honest, they're open and they're transparent.
A citrus grower for most of his life, Ron Gray was having trouble getting a decent price for his fresh oranges. That's when he discovered juice companies had massive stockpiles of this aseptic juice.
They're using this as a lever to talk down the price they're paying the poor grower.
Ron says that juice companies were buying more oranges than they needed when prices were cheap. With aseptic processing, they could store the excess.
They're boiling them up and then putting them in large aseptic plastic bags into cool store.
When supply was low and prices should have risen, Ron says the companies offered unrealistically low prices, knowing that they had stores of aseptic to fall back on.
They'll say to the poor old grower, we don't want your fruit, we have plenty of aseptic juice, and a month later they'll come back to you and offer you half of what the original price was.
Ron says growers should be getting somewhere in the order of 40 cents a kilo. He's been offered 5 cents a kilo by the juice companies.
They're doing it for money. They're making money out of it the easiest and cheapest and simplest way they can, and that's all it boils down to.
Companies say they must use aseptic juice to supplement shortfalls in the supply, and that it is expensive to cold store juice. But Ron says the advent of aseptic juice is not just killing the industry, but bad for consumers.
We have gone backwards from a healthy product now to an absolute disaster.
You're removing a lot of the fresh tasting components in that juice. So then it becomes a much blander tasting orange juice.
George Polymiatis makes Polly's juice.
We certainly don't use aseptic juice or concentrate or anything. It's straight out of the orange.
A microbiologist by trade, George says aseptic is an inferior, damaged product.
The moment you heat the juice up so to make aseptic juice, the vitamin C level is reduced by 50%.
It's not just vitamin C which is lost.
Sometimes you put a colour in, also add a little bit of highlighter to it to give it a bit more flavour.
What's highlighter?
Valencia essence.
What's Valencia essence?
It's a liquid that tastes like Valencia orange or tastes like orange. I'm not sure whether it's a chemical or whether it's natural, I'm not sure.
Fearing repercussions, this man refused identification. However, he knows all about your orange juice.
I've blended fresh orange juice for National Foods.
How do we know that this aseptic juice is going into the fresh juice?
Because as a blender, I've had to do it, put it in. It's part of the formulation.
National Foods makes Australian fresh and berry daily juice.
When you buy fresh juice, you probably find that in winter 20% of it will be fresh and the rest of it will be aseptic and concentrate.
Look at the label. It says Australian fresh, but it's far from it. I don't reckon boiling fruit juice and storing it for up to 12 months can be described as fresh, so consumers really are being conned.
Senator Nick Xenophon is moving to legislate for more honest labelling. Until that happens, customers have no way of telling which companies use aseptic juice and which companies don't.
They're all using it.
And I can see Cruster, now that's Coca-Cola.
That's Coca-Cola.
On their website, Coca-Cola's GV Premium range is clearly promoted as fresh.
Where products are marketed as fresh and they contain aseptic juice, then in our view, they breach the code that's been set by industry and line themselves up for prosecution.
Graham Samuel is the chairman of the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission.
They are not fresh if they've got aseptic juice in them. They breach the code.
Oh, come on, Frank. Frank, listen. Come on, level with me, mate. You have dishonest labelling. All of the juice producers. You do, because you don't tell people that there's aseptic juice in it, which is up to 12 months old.
We're abiding by the labelling law.
For now, Food Standards Australia New Zealand allows producers like Frank Morena from Nippies to hide aseptic juice in their product without telling consumers.
A small company like us has to compete against all the multinationals. They use a hell of a lot more concentrate than we do.
Nippies do produce a juice completely free of aseptic. It's all orange, but Frank has trouble selling it at 20 cents more because consumers can't tell the difference between aseptic juice and real fresh juice because it isn't labelled. The great tragedy here is that if there was truth in labelling, this would stand out as real fresh juice, and all your fake fresh juice would probably decline in sales and this would increase.
Well, I'd be happy to see that.
Food Standards Australia New Zealand, in conjunction with the government, can force producers to tell the truth. Ron Gray wishes they'd hurry up.
Oh, I'd just say, listen here, you bastards. You know, I'd like to see you stop putting this absolute crap into containers because I don't want to drink it and I don't want my friends in the city drinking it either.